So here's the abstract right here. Let's pluck that out, break it down. So here I just copy and pasted everything. It's got British spelling, so you know it's good. I'm just breaking it out by sentence because, like, so when you have an abstract, right? Every word is golden. Really, in journals in general, you usually have a word limit or a character limit. I think usually it's more character limit. And so so much work has gone into really figuring out what information is the most important for each of these. And so there will rarely be anything in an abstract that is just like not essential. So I just took the abstract from the top of the paper here. This is usually what you know, obviously the summary of the paper, but usually the top couple of results, a sentence about the background, right? So here we have I can't type. A tiny bit of background. Right here. What we, the researcher, are reporting about. So this is kind of the why in a way. And this is the why continued. We analyzed physiological and activity data from 32 individuals. That's important. So again, this is not, you know, I streamed another paper this morning. This is not huge, huge end sizes. It's not a lot of people. It's 32. 32 identified from almost 5,300. 26 of them. So wait, and found that 26 of them had alterations in their heart. Okay. So this is getting to be a little, let me redo the colors a little bit. So the main finding here, of the 25 cases of COVID-19, so one of them, okay, so 26 of them had alterations in their heart rate, number of daily steps, or time asleep. 3 domains, heart rate, steps per day, and sleepy time. Of the 25 cases of COVID-19 for which we had symptom information, 22 were detected before or at symptom onset. So that's kind of cool. All right. So here's where the big bucks are, right? Pay off. Yeah, so main finding, so this third bullet here usually talks about the number of people who are analyzed, the main results, like this many people did this, or this amount of samples had that. So it looks like they went from about 5,300 participants, right? So these are people who signed up, basically. 32 were diagnosed with COVID-19, and 26, so let's say 81% of them, 26 of 81, or sorry, 26 of 32 had pre-symptomatic, let's just call them markers. Wait, no, that's not good. I don't like that. Let's be precise. So deviations in their and sleepy time. Okay. So my words are in red. Oh, I can't do the copy pasting on this. It's really annoying me. Okay. Oh, what's up with this font? I hate this font. Okay. Using the retrospective smartwatch data, we show that 63% of the cases could have been detected before symptom onset in real-time two-tiered warning system. So that's the big thing. Let's label that boom, right? And of course, the end statement's always, you know, this is what it kind of means in the real world, or for the body of evidence, things like that. Our findings suggest that activity tracking and health monitoring via consumer wearable devices may be used for the large-scale real-time detection of respiratory infections, often pre-symptomatically. So this often, I feel like, does a lot of work. This often. So I like to write commentary too. Often does a lot of work here. My humble opinion. Oh, and let's get some let's get these authors in here. So what I'm going to do, I like to check out Pubmed. So this was a paper I found on Reddit. the one we're talking about right now. But I often like to just go to Pubmed and look at the overall summary. And I will pop open a window. Pubmed. Yeah, so this is the paper that they put out. I like going on Pubmed because it kind of formats everything pretty nicely. You can also get citations really easily from it, right? Depending on how you're writing, I usually do AMA. That's what I do for my work stuff, but you know, it's not always necessary. So boom, that is the citation. If you're being fancy, what you want to do is kind of have a citation at the bottom. This is always good. If you're trying to be smart online, always have a thing here. If you're trying to make something, some kind of content like a picture or whatever, just have where you got the information. That goes such a long way. People like, you know, people make up data or misremember data all the time. And if you just have the citation here, like you just say, hey, this is right. Just go look. Let's go look. I have it right here. Go type this into Google. And if you're not familiar, this is essentially I guess a number that you can put into Google and it'll pop up your article. If it's printed online, it'll just have one of these. If it's printed in a journal, so you see it's given this number because it's published online ahead of print. If it's printed in a journal, it'll have like a journal volume number, page numbers, stuff like that. I'm gonna go notes view and just type it in there so I have it. Okay, so this whole time I'm gonna be just talking about this one paper, the pre-symptomatic detection of COVID-19 from smartwatch data, which sounds really cool. As we discussed, if you're just joining us, it is kind of cool. What I did was I copied verbatim the abstract from the paper and added my breakdown of essentially how to read an abstract. And usually the abstracts have, you know, probably, I don't know what the average size of abstract is. Usually you're limited to just a couple hundred words at most, a few hundred characters. But really it's the paper, if you had to condense down to 6 sentences, right? 6 or so. So usually it's a bit of background. This is what we're doing. This is what this paper is about, what we're doing and why, essentially. The top line results, which is saying how many people or how many subjects or how many animals or how many samples were analyzed. And then a top line, you know, the whatever intervention or information you were looking to get out of them, what the main result of that was. So for this one, they had 5,300 participants who signed up to be in this study, who I guess all had smartwatches and were identified and asked. 32 were diagnosed with COVID-19 of this, so they're tracking these people's I guess health status or diagnoses. And then of those people who were diagnosed, 81% of them had pre-symptomatic deviations. So before they had symptoms, probably before they knew they had COVID-19, their smartwatch data was showing that they had changes in heart rate, steps per day, and time of sleep per night. So changes their sleep pattern essentially, which is kind of cool, right? So like, I mean, what does that mean in our lives? It's hard to tell. Let's look at the paper a little more, but heart rate, obviously that changes a little bit day by day, but usually it's kind of steady and usually has a trend. So if it's really out of line with what your usual heart rate is day to day at certain times, so like at lunchtime should be relatively the same. If you're not exercising that day, you shouldn't see like a big spike, hopefully. But you should exercise every day, apparently. Okay, so that's the top line kind of results. This is the big one. This is the big payoff I put in. It's 22 people who were detected before or at symptom onset. I guess that or at could be very important too. Here, I'm going to keep this blue because my comments are in red and we like to color code when possible. Okay. So yeah, I mean, here's like the interesting thing, which is really cool, but also is probably grabbing, or reaching, I should say. Using retrospective smartwatch data, we show that 63% of the COVID-19 cases could have been detected before symptom onset in real time via a two-tiered system. And we'll have to like read what that actually means. A two-tiered system. And what they're hoping, right, is that this is kind of bringing up a way to identify people who have COVID-19 before they think they have it. So that could be cool too. Okay. So let's bring up the article again.